What's up, fight fans, and welcome to the Vegas Odds Contender Series breakdown. This will be first of many Contender Series breakdowns for the next 10 weeks. I love the Contender Series, me personally. This is my moneymaker every single year. We've been profitable 5 straight years. I'm looking to make it number 6. What's up, my man, Jesse Hobson, the real Joe Danger? How's it going?
Two things. This is kind of what I think brought us together. Was ultimately, I remember talking to you back when Contender first started. It was like one of those deep dive discussion MMA boards, and we were just getting down and dirty back when I was a casual. But that's no more, my man. Today I did some tape study. I was recovering. I had a Houston Horror Film Festival this weekend. I hosted 2 panels, one with Michael Hargrove, as you guys might know, is one version of the Candyman, and Walter Phelan, who is Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses, and then Mr. James Duvall, the Cult Classics panel. Yeah, I'm losing your interest, but maybe if I mention the fact that he's from Independence Day, Donnie Darko, just Gone in 60 Seconds. Dude, it was a dream come true. So just recovering from the chaotic weekend, but there's nothing better to do than break down fights. So that's what I'm happy to do, and we're going to do that today.
I mean, I saw some of those pictures. That was pretty dope. Being on the panel and stuff like that, I thought that was pretty damn cool. So, and I wish I was there, but we'll see some other time. But Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series every single week, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on UFC Fight Pass and ESPN Plus. Like I said, this is my moneymaker. I absolutely love this because these are the hungry up and coming fighters, and they're always going to come and bring it. There are always going to be a lot of finishes as well, because this is basically modern day gladiator. You have to impress in order to get a contract. It's not just enough to win. You have to win impressingly. So that brings out a lot of good fights. And I feel like there's a lot of mismatches. And I feel there's a couple on this fight card right to boot. All right, so our first fight up is in the flyweight division between Alessandro Costa and Andres Luna. Right now, Costa minus 265, favorite to come back on Luna, plus 225. Who do you got?
Initially, I looked at Luna just because I was like, okay, who's this cat? He looks like, he has the military haircut. He looks like, his dad probably beat him with a belt when he was a kid. Costa, but the more I dived into this fight, what does each guy bring to the table? Costa just seems to be a little bit more well-rounded. He works the body, which I really do like. Obviously that didn't work for Chris Curtis over the weekend, but it has in prior fights. Also with Costa, that helped him secure a KO or TKO victory, not in his last fight, but the fight before that. He worked the body, and then he ultimately got that, which I thought was really cool. On the other end, we have Luna Martinetti. He's a long, rangy fighter, but he leaves his chin up. He leaves it exposed, and he does get hit. Unfortunately for Luna, I think Costa may be his stiffest competition, and his O likely will go. So while Costa is smaller, I think he finds a way inside and gets it done. The pick is how do you say it? Alessandro? Is that it?
Yeah, I think it's Alessandro.
Sounds like a Disney princess. Ultimately, he's my pick, and he's my play. KO plus 225. I think that's pretty good line, honestly.
I like that as well. I've been all over Costa, once his first was announced. He's a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner. Majority of his wins have come by submission. BJJ black belt. He trains out of the camp Legacy MMA Brazilian Warriors fight team, which is another Contender Series graduate in Diego Lopez. He didn't get a contract, but he, high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner there, really up-and-coming prospect. Alessa Grasso also trains there. So, he's coming from a really good camp. He's stocky. He may be small, but he's got some insane power in those hands, throws some heavy hooks, really good on the counters, able to, dictate the pace of the fight, able to get in on the inside of taller guys. He's faced guys that are about 5'7" in the flyweight division. So he's used to fighting the taller guys since he's always been the shorter of the two. And then I think his wrestling is a lot better than Luna. And once he gets you down to the mat, this guy is gunning for a submission immediately. I've never seen someone attempt an armbar as fast as he did in one of his previous fights. He went from the takedown to the armbar within seconds. That's his specialty. And I feel if it hits the mat, Costa's going to get the sub. I know Luna's a, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, I believe, or purple belt. And he's trained with, former flyweight champion Brandon Moreno, but not anymore. I just don't think, like I said, he leaves himself open on the feet. He's long, rangy, uses a lot of kicks, but hands down, chin up. He's going to get tagged a lot. I feel like he may get some takedowns, but he's not going to want to do anything on the mat for Costa. So I'm expecting Costa will pretty much win this fight convincingly anywhere this fight goes. So I have him winning. I have him getting a knockout as well. He's got some insane power in his hands. or I could possibly see a club and sub. Either one of those two are very viable, and I think it gets it done.
Yeah, something interesting about that, this fight too with Luna. There was a lot of times in all the footage that I saw that he did get dazed multiple times, but the guys did not follow it up. They were very stagnant. They didn't really know how to react. The difference with Costa is, like you said, he does attack. So if he doesn't get the KO, he probably will go for the sub just because he knows, obviously you're there to make a statement. For some reason, that KO just sticks out to me just because Luna does keep his chin up and available.
I agree with that. I think Costa gets it done, whether it's on the feet, whether it's on the mat. I think he's a really good prospect as well. And the guy is seasoned, he's already got 2 losses, so he's already fought through adversity to come back. So I feel like, and you talk about Luna, who's really fought bad competition, and he's never fought through adversity that he's going to fight through in this week. Moving on, we got a fight in the featherweight division between Dennis Bazooka and Kaleo Romero. Right now, the line is set at Bazooka minus 200 to come back on Romero plus 170.
Dennis is back on Tuesday Night Contender, right?
Yep, this is the second time.
After his first disappointing showing. 3 wins, 1 being a KO since he's been gone. So I'd say he probably has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. While Romero is good, and his nickname is far from creative, KO, come on, dude. Let's do a little bit more, I just think Bazooka, I'm going to call him Bazooka because that would be that's so much cooler than the Great. He should get it done. And both have a pretty standard history of competition. I wouldn't say anyone they've beat is all that. I wouldn't brag to my mom about, beating one of the guys that they beat. Let's just be honest. And from what I've seen, Romero he looks pretty sluggish for his age. His movements are a little bit slower than someone typically in this weight class. I like Bazooka by decision here, and it's plus 150. I think Bazooka wins this fight regardless, but I think ultimately he's going to win by decision. I think that they're both going to be timid. I think Romero is going to be more timid, and then ultimately it's just they're just kind of going to dance for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Bazooka I think he's got the upper hand pretty much everywhere. I know Romero is a collegiate wrestler. He's pretty good there, but he's not even great at getting it there. He's a good wrestler, but he's not a great MMA wrestler. And if he doesn't get it there, I think he's going to get outworked completely by Bazooka. We know Bazooka has got really good cardio. We know that he could take a punch. He went in there against Milsic Bagdasarian, took a heavy ass beating in round 1, came back, won round 2, and then just got beaten that last and final round against a really good opponent, Bagdasarian. Now you got Romero. I believe they're coming down a weight class too. I think Bagdasarian is at 155. Either way, Romero has only fought once in the last 3 years, so he's not very active. Hasn't fought good competition at all. He's very sloppy on the feet, throws wild hooks. I feel like Bazooka could counter off that, and I think he could really possibly get him out of there inside 2 rounds. I think Romero's going to fade because he throws a lot of big actions, a lot of looping punches, a lot of launching into his shots, a lot of takedown attempts, failed takedown attempts. And when he doesn't get it there, it's the writing's on the wall. So I have Bazooka getting in there, putting the pace, putting pressure on him, and eventually ending him inside the distance.
See, the one thing I wanted to mention is like you said, he is a wrestler. So why is his nickname KO? It's so odd to me. It just seems like, oh yeah, I guess I'll go with it. Like I said, from everything I saw on tape, the guy is such a slow starter, and then he just kind of keeps that pace. I would love to see a knockout or some sort of finish. That way we can move on to one of these more interesting fights. But for some reason, just because this Romero is involved in this fight, I think it's going to last the 15 minutes. Sadly, just kind of like that fight you were disappointed about over the weekend.
Oh, Jai Herbert. Right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, the shoe will be on the other foot in this scenario. Be more like the Chris Curtis fight where, there's going to be somebody just running around. I think ultimately this has all the writings on the wall to have a boring decision. As far as I'm concerned, we shall see.
I think it boils down to the cardio of Romero. If Romero extends all his energy in round 1, Bazooka is going to probably drown him in rounds 2 and 3 and eventually take him out. Because this is pretty much the biggest fight of his life, the hardest competitor he's faced in his entire career as well. I think he's going to crack under the pressure.
And I think the odds tell that story as well.
Right. All right, moving on. We got a fight, light heavyweight division between Anton Turkle. We'll go with Turkle. I like Turkle. Against Casio dos Santos. Right now, I'm going Anton is minus 190. Dos Santos plus 160.
It's like I love that picture. That's such a weird name. Like it reminds me like someone that would
And
play on the
and his
Sacramento
nickname,
Kings.
though. You see his
Oh yeah,
nickname, though?
yeah. The more I dug into this one, the more I became that much more sure that your boy Anton's going to come through. The guy's nickname is the Pleasure Man. They don't just give that nickname out. And then you have Asasio dos Santos on the other end, posing for his DMV photo. Pretty much everyone that Santos has beat has a horrible record, and vice versa can be said for Anton. He has at least some decent competition. They usually win after they lose to him, and Anton is also 7-0, all finishes. So we all know why he's at the party. Let's just say that he usually gets it done in round 1 or round 2. More so often he gets it done in round 1. I'm taking Anton, and then I'm going to take Anton round 1 plus 250. I think he gets it done. Santos, I think he's 30 years old. Yeah, 30 years old, 9 months. He's almost 31. He hasn't really fought anybody worth a note. Let's do it. Round 1, KO. Round 1, get him out of there anyway.
I like it. Even though this is probably the highest variant fight on this card, where I feel like either one of these guys could win. I feel Turquoise probably should win and should catch Dos Santos at some point, but he's super wild with his exchanges, and he leaves himself open for counters. And Dos Santos, he has finishing ability. I'm reluctant to pay minus 190 on him. I do like that round 1 prop at plus 250 though.
I didn't look at round 2. I just feel like he gets him out of round 1. It just
this is a fight that's probably ending early. These two should go at it early. And this guy's name is Pequeño. That's never good.
Well, and he looks like one of those like Rock'em Sock'em robots, dude. His head is already ready for you to like just knock it off that much more. I mean, the writing's on the wall. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a quick one, and hopefully we cash out.
Moving on to our main event in the middleweight division between Joe Pyfer and Osman Diaz. Right now, the line is set at minus 10, 110 across the board. It's a pick 'em fight.
Oh, did the other one get canceled?
Yes. Farad Basharat and his opponent,
William Salza.
Yeah, Salza missed weight by 10 whole pounds.
I didn't know they canceled it, which, okay, that saves me some time. This last fight here, man, the odds are close. Arguably, this is the hardest fight to call. I was initially leaning Pyfer, but the more I watched Diaz, the more I had to side with the big man. I mean, I love the leg kicks. He has a decent gas tank for someone that finishes his fights. Pyfer, obviously, he's been here before. He's been under these bright lights. He has a freaking YouTube documentary about his life. It's a whole hour long. It's just about him. So yeah, the guy's been here, done that. But I do think that Ozzy is the play here. Decent levels of competition based on his record. Probably sitting out, but we'll see. Obviously, the weigh-ins happen. I've been busy today. Didn't get a chance to look at the weigh-in. I would have liked to get Ozzy at plus money. Unfortunately, I missed that boat. We'll see what happens once it gets closer to fight time.
It's a toss-up fight, as you can see with the line. Initially, I was going in Ozzy Diaz because I feel like he has the advantage on the feet. I think he's more polished than Pyfer. Pyfer is just going to throw, heavy hooks, and I feel like Diaz can go 15 minutes, outstriking him at distance, outworking him with volume as well from range. He uses kicks very well, uses his reach very well. He's tall, 6'4". But with Pyfer, now he's training with the Philly boys over at Renzo Gracie, with all Sean Brady and, Andre Petrosky and, all those guys over there. So maybe we're going to see more of a wrinkle in his game, in his wrestling and his grappling, where I do think he has the advantage. Whether or not he's going to be able to keep Diaz down is the issue. If Diaz is able to bounce right back up, he should beat Pyfer on the feet over the course of 15 minutes and probably will knock him out. But if Pyfer can actually use that grappling that he's been learning at Renzo Gracie, yeah, he could possibly get the win. So that's why I'm kind of on the fence here. After hearing Joe Pyfer move camps, since losing on the Contender Series, and he's gotten better, I just want to see how this one plays out, because if that grappling comes into play, he might be one to look at as a sneaky little underdog moving forward in the UFC. But if his grappling ain't shit, even though he kind of changed camps, Diaz is probably going to put it on him and put him to sleep.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one go down. Like, obviously, with what happened with Mr. Body Bags the last time around, it left a lot on the table. You know, who did he fought? Stolfus or whatever? Stolfus?
Yes, Solstice, yeah.
He was having a pretty bad skid in UFC, so it wasn't really showing us much as far as, you know, that fight. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm really excited about this particular fight just because it does seem so close and it's very interesting. And like you said, the wrinkles in the game. I want to see if he has made any improvements, because from what I saw as far as his tape, he was lacking a little bit in the wrestling category.
See, that's why I'm really reluctant, because also we haven't seen too much of grappling in Diaz either. He hasn't faced anybody that's really shown that they can grapple. So it's going to come down to, if Diaz can keep this fight on the feet, I think he wins this all day. But if Pyfer can show a new little wrinkle in his game, I think he could get it done. But we'll see what happens. I'm leaning, if I had to bet, I'd probably go with Ozzy Diaz in this fight.
That's my pick as far as right now goes. I mean, we'll see if the odds shift, but that's my pick. But I don't know about my play. You know what I'm saying? So follow me on social media. I'll let you know.
All right, guys, that's what we got for our Week 1 Contender Series breakdown here on the Vegas Odds YouTube channel. And we need you guys to go like and subscribe to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel, and you get more of this breakdown stuff with us too, and also with my boy Ryan Jarrell later in the week for UFC 277. We're making a ton of money. That's what we're here for. We're here to cash out each and every week for you guys, and we will see you all then. We'll see you all next week